everyone. Welcome to another episode of Disgruntled Docs podcast. Today we have a guest with us who, he's been a good time follower and he's got a lot of good information. We got the boot nurse on here. What's up, bro? How's it going, man?
Hey, man, what's going on? I appreciate you having me, man.
No, thank you for coming on, man. I know you and me have been talking, sending each other DMs and touching tips a little bit, which is cool. So,
Hey, stay in my DMs.
Yeah, and I appreciate you buying the merch, man. It's honestly, it's cool. It's kind of a little bit of an honor, that y'all really appreciate my fucking work of art, I guess.
I think the biggest thing about your gear, man, is that for most people that are corpsmen, or for most people that are medics, they can relate to a lot of the stuff. That, like, a lot of the little jokes, like the certified barracks doctor. Like, if you're not a corpsman or if you're not a medic, like, you have no idea what that is. So it's kind of like an inside joke. So I just think that's the funniest shit.
Yeah, thanks, bro. But making merch is just like on a whole nother fucking level. And I try, just like you said, I try to make it a little bit niche to that medic corpsman life because it's just 9-line, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna touch that.
That's good. Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, bro, so you just got accepted into a nursing program, or you just finished doing the NCLEX, so we can kind of...
No, so I actually just got my license back in June of this year, but I actually finished nursing school in 2018.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So how's that road been for you? Because I know a lot of people usually, they either try to go the PA route, they go IDC, or sometimes they go down the nursing route. So what were your first couple of steps kind of going down that road?
Well, like, it first happened where I decided that I wanted to be a nurse. And I talked to one of my mentors. He was a HM2 who, when I was at the hospital, I was like, hey, man, I want to be a nurse. And he was just like, you got to go on deployment. I'm like, oh, damn. All right, whatever. And then like 3 months later, there's like, hey, you going on deployment? I was like, oh, damn. All right. Because I was trying to do the MECEP route. And for those that don't know what MECEP is, which most of you guys do, it's, the Medical Enlisted Commissioning Program, where it allows for you to be enlisted to be a nurse. But anyway, so that was back in 2012. First thing I needed to do when I came back was I needed to figure out what school I wanted to go to, because every school, their classes and their prerequisites are different. So you had to find one that would tailor to you for the classes that you already had and to the classes that you needed to take. One thing I will tell everybody is to find out which one of those schools is military friendly. So when I decided that I did want to go to nursing school, I didn't know that I would end up in Texas. And then when I ended up in Texas, you can go to like their board of nursing and it'll give you a whole list of schools for to go to nursing school. And they'll take a lot of your military credits, as well as they'll tell you like what route, as well as it'll send you a link to those schools to tell you like, hey, we have a military program that will take a lot of your credits. Or if you're a corpsman, Army medic, Air Force medic, hey, this portion of the program is just for you.
That's pretty cool. So it kind of covers all branches and not just primarily like Navy, and it's good that they kind of branch out and be able to cover for all the different branches when it comes to corpsmen, medics on both Army and Air Force side.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I'll give you an example. Like I said, I live here in Texas, and there's a school, we'll say San Antonio College. If you go onto San Antonio College's website, they have what they call a career mobility program, and it's a nursing program, but it's for an associate's degree. But I mean, at this point in time, it doesn't fucking matter what it is, as long as it's an RN. You get it. You can bridge and do all kinds of stuff later. But they have it to where it is specifically for LVNs, and they have another one that is specifically for Navy hospital corpsmen and Army medics, and Air Force medics. And it's like a 5-semester program. So if you think about it, if you already knocked out your prereqs, AMP 1 and 2, micro, and stuff like that, you could literally get that program done in less than a year.
Damn, that sounds like someone needs to be putting in years of worth of work.
I'm telling you, man. But if you do the research, man, you'll find it out here. Like, for real, you will.
No, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here, because a lot of us seem to be like mushrooms, you know what I mean? We're kept in the dark and fed shit, so...
No, like...
It's always good to have those resources, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, you can only ask so much, but then sometimes people are just like, oh, well, yeah, no, I'm not really sure, so... I'm hoping that this will kind of bring a little bit more light to people to kind of push themselves. And, you know, sometimes I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I try to do as much as I can, and I should be honestly doing more, and I'm not even going to front, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I definitely try to push education as much as possible to anyone and everyone.
Because this is the thing that I'll tell people. It doesn't matter if you're a soldier, if you're a sailor, airman, marine, or whatever. The military are gonna get what they want out of you, so you might as well just get what you need to get out of them while you're still in. For anybody that's gonna sit there and that's gonna tell you, that's not gonna like try to point you in the right direction, or they're gonna hoard knowledge. Hey, they're a piece of shit. And I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a couple of people that were like that, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I can't really mess with you like that on a professional level or on a personal level. So there's plenty of people that are out here. Get y'all a mentor. The biggest thing about finding a mentor is finding somebody who's already there. That way you know the route to get there, or they can point you in multiple directions on how to get there. Because this nursing thing, like once I became a nurse, it's just like you see it. I don't know if you watch Attack on Titan. It's like finding a coordinate and everybody goes to the same spot. But
yeah,
it's there's a lot of different ways for people to get there, man, for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as long as there's different avenues, then a lot of people can't really have excuses up to why they're not doing it or why they can't. When it's just there's so many different ways. It's just like you said. It's like people got the coordinates. They might be taking different routes, but it's all going to be the same end goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So you had already had. Did you use your TA to do a lot of this stuff, or how did that work out for you?
So when I was originally going to school, like when I was at these community colleges, I used TA because TA covered the class, and it pretty much covered everything. The only thing I really had to cover was the books. Hell, some of the classes didn't even require us to have books, and the instructors gave us a PDF and be like, "Hey, study this, and you good to go." Now, that was like when I was at the community college. Now, when I went to university, and I'll just tell everybody where I went to Texas A&M in Corpus Christi. It's no secret because if you go to their website, they have the military section for the nursing school, or for the nursing program. When I went there, the TA only covers the class, but the TA does not cover tuition, books, and fees, and all those hidden fees that universities, you know, like to throw on people. So
naturally,
what I ended up doing is I ended up using my GI Bill, and when I used my GI Bill, that covered everything under the sun except for it covered the tuition and it covered the fees, but I had to come out of pocket the books. But they ended up sending you like a book stipend, but the book stipend doesn't cover everything that it doesn't cover everything. So I think my first semester, it was like $1,000 for all those stupid ass books. And I got like and then I got like a $500 stipend. I'm just like, bro, this is drinking money, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, shit, I don't even remember going to junior college back in the day. And yeah, the books is always the most expensive part, even like used. And you're just like, by God, man, like what are they doing here?
No, for real. Like it's a racket, man. Like
it really is.
They'll tell you it's like, hey, you got to get this book because it has like this online code. And once that code is used, like that book is pretty much useless.
Dunzo, yeah.
And then the school is just like, oh, well, you got the book, but you ain't got to get the code. So sometimes you'll get the book and then you got to go buy the code. And then the code is even just as expensive as the damn book.
That's fucking hilarious.
And I'm just like, bro, I can't even deal with y'all. I hate it.
Like, you would think it's a place to get education, but it's not. It's just like, yeah, it's a fucking racketeering scam to fucking steal people's money. That name's sake of education.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, some of them girls would like be emailing some of these professors, and I'm just like, yo, like they are off the damn chain talking to these officers. They're just like, not officers. What the hell am I talking about? They over here, they crazy talking to these damn these professors, saying like, I'm gonna report y'all because y'all are stealing our money. I'm just like, well, hey, you go ahead, Sally. You keep telling her that. Go ahead and throw my name in there too, but I ain't calling her because I ain't trying to get kicked out of this program.
You tell him, Stacy. But yeah,
I'm just like, nah. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm trying to pass, and I already hate school, so shit.
Yeah, no, I know that same life. I got kicked out of junior college for saying some dumb stuff, but that's life. You know what I mean?
Hey,
things happen.
Yeah,
but
you live and you learn, bro.
Oh yeah, but so TA and the GI Bill, and you got that out of the way. So taking the NCLEX, like how much time did you invest, or even like going to school, like balancing not just your Navy career, Navy life, and personal life, and then adding school on top of that, bro? How was that like, man? That just sounds like a complete wreck of a nightmare.
All right, so I'm definitely gonna say I was definitely lucky on how that worked.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is you have to have the support of your chain of command. And now I know a bunch of people are going to be like, well, my chain of command is a piece of shit. And I was like, look, let me tell you, that may be true. But when it comes to the specific things that you want to do, you got to keep them informed, because if they're not informed, they're not going to be there to support you. So the thing that I did is when I had applied, it's weird. I applied for MECEP, and I was sitting down talking to the skipper, and the skipper was just like, hey, what are you going to do if you don't get picked up for MECEP? I was like, sir, I start school in January. And he was just like, oh, okay. He was like, so if you don't get picked up for MECEP, he was like, what are you going to do? I was like, sir, I start school in January. And he's just like, oh, so you're going to go to school regardless? I'm just like, yes, sir. And he was just like, okay. And then he just signed. He just signed it, and then he went on about his business. But I told him, I was like, I have a good chain of command. So what I did is I sat down with I have my department head and my director, who were both nurses, and my LPO and my chief. And I pulled them all into a room, and I was just like, hey, if I can give you my 40 hours, be where I'm supposed to be, uniform, on the podium, because I was instructing at this point. I was just like, can I, do I have y'all support to go to nursing school? Both officers was like, of course, absolutely. My LPO was just like, you're going to fail, but whatever.
Damn, straight up hating, bro. Like,
and then my chief was just like, it doesn't matter, you're gonna get through school, but you won't pass the NCLEX. I'm like, damn, I hate you all. But then they all just signed it and said, hey, we good to go. And I was like, all right, whatever. But I mean, that's just how we all communicated. That was just love, and I still appreciate them. And it's funny because the command that I'm at now, both of them are with me again. It's like they can't find me. They can't leave me alone, man. But that's one of the biggest things, that you got to have the support of your chain of command, especially when you're active duty. So it is very, very possible for you to get your nursing license and finish school and do school while you're active duty. The next thing, the balance of life. Let me just say, when you start, nursing school is it's a beast. It's a beast. And here's the thing: is I did all of nursing school online.
Oof.
All of it. Like before it became popular with COVID, I did it all online.
Yeah.
Right. I started school, went down there for orientation. Then all of my didactic was all online, and then I went down there to do medical or medical checkoff. Same stuff we always do, giving shots and giving PO meds and doing a Foley. And I'm just like, bro, I've been doing this for 10 years. And these girls are like, how do you do it? And I'm just like, watch me work. And they're just like, oh my God. But, and then the rest of the time, bro, it was like I did, like I said, I did everything online. And then when I did my clinicals, I did everything local at the local hospital, because the school had like a memorandum of understanding with the local university here. So I did all of my clinicals on the weekends.
Nice.
I had no social life. I had no friends, but that's okay.
Hey, you came out winning in the end, bro.
That's
so
true.
all that time and that sacrifice spent, it's more than worth it at the end,
Hey, for sure. And here's the thing, man. It's like this is when I would be on the podium, and we start at 08, and I'll be done on the podium at 1700. I get home about, we'll say 1900, and then I would be studying all the way until 1 in the morning. And I did that for the first 3 or 4 months. Then I ended up becoming a clinical instructor, which made it a little bit easier, because I was I was out in town in the clinical sites with my students. So I would check on them, make sure they were good to go. As soon as they were good to go, I was down in their cafeteria or whatever, and I was sitting there on the computer doing all my homework. But it's you still had to make sure that they were good to go, and it was a lot of work, man. It was a lot of work, but it's 100% doable. The question is if you want to do it, and if you want to sacrifice a lot of stuff in order to make it happen.
Yeah, and a lot of people get kind of weirded out, but it's just my social life, dude, if you really want something, you have to input that sacrifice, and just people are so caught up in all this, I don't even know, man. Like this whole social dilemma, I guess, of being popular or going out with friends, which is completely fine. Like I have nothing against it, but if you have big major goals like that, you are gonna have to sacrifice a lot of that social life to reach those goals, or else you're just gonna be stuck in the same place, complaining about everything, and you haven't even taken that first step. And even just talking to your chain of command about that, like how you said, and it's like, you give them the transparency, then there's nothing really they can tell you, and at the end of the day, you're gonna push through it. You're gonna push through it if that's what you really want. If not, then you're gonna be like me, just sitting here talking shit, I guess. Telling people to go to school and like do stuff, and instead I'm over here I don't know, making memes, I guess. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Hey, first off, you're making memes. You're doing God's work, all right? I don't care what nobody's telling you. So there's that. But the thing about it is, like, especially when it comes to that social life, is like that shit's temporary, man. Like,
yeah, it is.
You know, and here's the crazy thing about it is, like, you find out who your real friends, or just you found out who the real people are by the time that's over. You know how many? Do you know how many people I've seen, like, man, I don't got no friends. Man, my husband left me. Man, my wife left me. Man, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, I'm telling you, like, going through a program that's rigorous like that, and then on top of doing it all online now, like, you really see what you're made of, and then you really see what the people around you are made of, and you see who is really about you in the end. I found that out. Yeah, man.
I think not just school, but also deployments and just being in the military, things like that can definitely affect a lot of that aspect. But when you're chasing huge goals like that, yeah, man, people are gonna wanna, especially when you're telling people, hey, man, I'm sorry, I can't go out, I got all this homework, I got all this stuff I gotta do. Yeah, they definitely tend to kind of leave you by the wayside. And then the minute that you're successful and you're doing things, hey, how's it going? Remember me? And it's like, no. First off, back up. But yeah, man, it's difficult, but having that good support of like real family and real friends, definitely key.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely.
But yeah, bro, how many times did it take you to pass your NCLEX exam, or what did you use to study all that, since your chief didn't want to believe in you?
Bro, let me tell you, my chief used to dog me all the time. He still dogs me. Like, he'll see me, and I'll be like, good morning, chief. And he's like, don't tell me what the fuck to do with my life. I'm just like, what kind of a movie am I living right now? Like, what the fuck is happening here? But he's still cool, man.
Yeah.
He always used to just give me shit about it. And he was just like, he's cool, but then he starts being a chief. He was like, what are you going to do when you're an officer? I was just like, I don't know. Like, salute without my cover on. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. And he's just like, really? I was like, what do you want me to do? But here's a couple things that I used. You probably don't know about these, but if you decide that you want to become a nurse, these are just really good things for you guys to know anyway. And especially like where you are, because I know that certain states, if people don't know this, that if you're a corpsman, there are certain states that allow for you to challenge the LVN board. And if you're a corpsman out there and you are in a hospital, in an inpatient ward or whatever, and if you have not gone to challenge that LVN board, you're doing something wrong. You need to fix yourself, and you need to do it. Now, if you ain't trying to be a nurse, then that's cool. I was like, but you need to be doing something with your life that's productive, instead of, fucking playing Call of Duty, Black Ops, whatever the fuck's about to come out, because I already got a pre-order. Don't do me.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, like, people need to be doing that. Anyways, so...
I think California is one of those states that you can challenge the board for LVN.
Yeah, for sure. California's one, and Florida is the other. Those are the two. Okay. Those are the two that I do know. Because there was a girl I worked with. She got her LVN before I left there, and there's a girl that I mentor now who works at Balboa who's going for it. She's taking hers in December.
Yeah, I remember Pendleton used to have a program as well where you would study like after like work hours or whatever. Well, this was in the old hospital.
Mm-hmm. You talking about the one that's all the way in the back that take like an hour to get to?
Yeah. Unless you went through the back gate, you know what I mean? But
I went to right off the 5, and it take me. I'd be like, somebody be driving. I'd be like, hey, we're gonna be there in 30 minutes. So I fall asleep, wake up. I'm like, we there yet?
But back then they used to have a program all the way. I think it was the 7th floor. I can't remember. But yeah, they had like a study group session where they'd go over what you needed to study for the LVN program, or for challenging the board and stuff. I don't know if Pendleton's still doing that, but I'm guessing San Diego's probably still kicking it.
Oh yeah, for
since
sure.
They're usually doing a lot of that stuff.
As a matter of fact, I actually got in contact with some commander over there, and I don't think she runs it, but she sent me like all the curriculum that they use for LVNs. For when they're helping them like challenge the board, which is really funny because it's a lot of the stuff that I tell other people to use. Like, hey, go to this YouTube channel. Hey, go to Khan Academy because, they're infamous for all kinds of stuff. And, go to this YouTube channel or go to this website where you can get free PDFs and stuff like that. So, I mean, if I was in California, I'd actually probably help teach that. So, and it's a lot of good info. So.
Yeah, probably after this, you can shoot me some of those links and we can definitely, or even if you have a video about it, bro, send it over our way. So then that way a lot of the listeners can get that link, and that way they know where to look a lot of these videos up and a lot of that information. Because just because we're talking about it, some people will be like, I hate to say it, some people are lazy, like, oh, I don't know where it's at, where you can just literally Google it or go on YouTube and find these videos, you know what I mean? But the easier we can make it for people, the better, because, like, even for me, I'm kind of autistic, so then sometimes I'm just, like, looking for things and I can't find stuff, so it's just like...
He's like, I'm high,
okay,
I'm high functioning.
High function? Well, yeah, I'm obviously somehow, because I'm running this thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bro, definitely a lot of those that good information is always good.
Yeah, man, I got you. I'll send those to you for sure.
Yeah. So now, if you guys are listening to this, you guys have no excuses well, he didn't give me the links.
I'm waiting for one of these clowns to fucking be like, hey, you got that link? And I'm gonna be like, don't let me find you,
bruh. Yeah, because I've heard some people like studying and doing it, but so how many videos or how many of that whole curriculum that this commander was sending you was like all the stuff that you were using?
Man, like if you think about the Corpsman manual, because the Corpsman manual is like what? Yeah. We'll say about 25 chapters or so. It essentially goes like that. Like it breaks it down like by day, and it tells you like, hey, do this. Hey, do this. Yeah. Hey, do this. Hey, take this quiz. So it kind of puts it in an order to help you study. But the best thing, here's the crazy thing about it, is that in one of my videos, people asked why I became a nurse. And I was just like, a corpsman essentially is equivalent to an LVN, military style. And when I try to tell people that, I'm just like, as an LVN or as a corpsman, you know the how to do things, but you don't necessarily know the why. So the why broken down in this curriculum kind of helps you better understand, what's the big difference between, hypertonic saline, hypotonic saline. All right, if I give too much, what am I looking for? Somebody cough up, pink frothy sputum. What am I thinking about? Not just that, but thinking about this. That's why they get mad. That's why when they be doing health and comfort inspections and they be finding, fucking IV kits in people's fucking rooms, and they be like, hey, what if he had a heart problem and he died? You'd be like, ooh, you're right. I didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and we're out here just like YOLO. They're healthy. They should be all right. Like
they good. They good. But yeah, that's essentially how it breaks it down. It's essentially like, when you go to school trying to teach somebody who knows, relatively nothing about it and try to get them, to know the basics of it, because they're a boot.
Yeah, but even then, like, I think a lot of the stuff that we covered, a lot of stuff that we learned, well, even also depending on how much research you're doing yourself afterwards will kind of depend on your level of expertise. Because I've met some corpsmen that is just like, bro, like, why are you still here? Like, why aren't you a nurse? And they spend most of their time working in the wards or specific, like the cardiac unit, or even like respiratory techs. Those dudes are like smart on a whole nother level. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? But I'm just like, okay.
Oh no, like those dudes, I got mad respect for those for respiratory techs. When I did my ICU rotation, those dudes are on it. Those dudes and those girls, they're all on it, man. Like when it comes to anytime you got a patient on a vent, I'm looking at this, I'm just like, well, I'm glad you're in here because I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a good transition into both LVN or nursing, or if you even want to go that route. But we're definitely a little bit underappreciated for all the stuff that we do, and I think even medics included, because I worked with them in Iraq in 2015, and a lot of them they knew a whole lot, and I was and you know, there's always that kind of surprise, or you always think that, you know, because you're a corpsman, you're better than all the other medics.
You are. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we can do a little bit more, and yeah, we can deploy with anyone, but at the same time, like, it goes varying. If you one-on-one, if you get a specific medic or a specific corpsman, like, it's gonna vary every time. In general, still might vary. I have a bias. We both have a biased opinion, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we had a lot of good medics that knew their shit, and when it came to doing trauma and we were doing out there in a role too, those dudes were on point. So I can't really hit them too hard, because I've seen them do amazing things. But yeah, same thing. Those dudes need to be out there and looking up a lot of this stuff as well. And even if it means crossing over to a different branch and getting your commission somewhere different, or looking at the same resources, especially if they're in the Texas area, because San Antonio is still tri-service, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, because you said that they were offering it to all branches, so they should definitely be looking into that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Let me kind of like reiterate that, like, it's still a tri-service base, but core school is just strictly core school. Like the Air Force, they do their own thing. Corpsmen do their own thing. Whiskeys do their own thing. But they're all like relatively like around, like, you know, in the same spot, and they got their own barracks and stuff like that. So, but I mean, you know, everybody has their own mission, but you know, we all relatively do the same thing, which is, you know, save lives. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, if you're a whiskey, you're a medic, or Air Force medic, whatever they do.
Fly, fight, win.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, the resource, I think they get more resources than we do, to be honest with you. But I don't know if it's whether just people don't know where to look, or just who fucking knows, man. I think just a lot of us are kind of lazy, and I'll admit it. I'm kind of lazy myself, you know what I mean? But definitely the resources are all there, and it's just a matter of asking the right people.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I try to tell people. It's just like, hey, if you want to be a nurse, go and find a nurse, because obviously they've already went through that journey on like how to get there. Like when I was studying for my exam, you know, because I had a couple of mentors. I had an OR nurse. She was a lieutenant commander. And then I have another OR nurse. No, I'm sorry. Another just regular. He was an ICU nurse who's a lieutenant commander. And then I had a lieutenant colonel who was in the Army, who was an ICU nurse. And so he was telling me about all kinds of stuff, like the first study material that I think I used when I studied for NCLEX, it was the Saunders NCLEX-RN book. And then there was another one in my school provided called Board Vitals. It's trash, so I wouldn't use that. The next thing that I used was UWorld, and UWorld is like this. If you haven't heard of UWorld, it's this real big popular question bank website that's on a subscription based, and they have it for all different types, but they have it for LVN, LPN, and RN. I like UWorld's questions, but they only provide questions with rationales. Which is great if you understand the content. If you don't have a good grasp of, like, you know, diabetes and what it is and what it does and how it affects the body and what you're supposed to be looking for when you're taking care of a patient, then if you get asked a diabetic question, you're gonna be like, I don't know, and then you're gonna be sitting there guessing, and then you're gonna be wondering why you're not passing those little quizzes and stuff that they have on there. Another study source material that I used was Mark Clement. Mark Clement is this dude who actually used to be an NCLEX test writer, like back in the early 2000s. And so he'll even say, if you ever go to his review, that, you know, that this is what I did. This is why the questions are worded that way. This is why my review is this way, so on and so forth. And he actually has an audio that cycles around the internet. And this was before his audio became like this huge thing. And it still cycles around the internet, and it's still about 90 to 95% relevant to what you would need to learn on the NCLEX.
Nice.
The big thing about Mark Clement, though, is that he knows that it's out there, but people are taking it and trying to sell it. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Somebody gave it to me, but
Yeah.
When it comes to somebody's intellectual property, hey, don't be a fucking thief. All right.
Yeah.
Like that dude has worked like 35, 40 years perfecting his review. So the biggest thing that people want to be cheap and they don't want to invest in themselves. Like if you want to support this dude and you want to support the material that he gives, hey, go out there and spend that money because it'll all come back in the long run for you when you have a license and you're out there making, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000+ a year after you spending, a couple $100 on a review. And then there was another one I used. It was Hurst, Hurst. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good too. They give you a lot of content. And like I said, content is king. This is what I say. Content is king. Questions are queen. Like you have to have both of them, but you need to have content in order for you to answer those critical questions. And so Hearst provides questions and they provide content. I thought Hearst was okay. Wasn't that bad. I wouldn't not recommend it, but I mean, it all just depends on what you want. And then the last thing that I used was Kaplan. And Kaplan, they do all kinds of stuff from, the LSAT, the SAT, ACT, MCAT, LVN, RN, all kinds of stuff. And to me, they provided the most. Like they have like an NCLEX channel, and I made a video about this one. It's about 14 minutes long, but they provide you an NCLEX channel with like anywhere from 18 to 30 to hour-long videos of like specific content. They have live classes. They have NCLEX-style tests. Some of those tests, some of those questions range from 75 questions, some of them all the way up to 265.
Holy shit.
And that's the thing about the NCLEX, if everybody doesn't know about this. If you're taking the RN, normally it's 75 to 265 questions. You would get 6 hours to take it, and it's adaptive, so it's based off of you. So you clowns that want to be out there cheating, it ain't gonna happen like that. So, and then if you want to take the the LVN or the LPN, it's like 85 questions to like 100 or 205. But with COVID, they've kind of like relaxed it a little bit. If anybody wants to know that, just go to your local board of nursing or your state board of nursing, and it'll tell you what those are. But those are like the study things that I used. Now, here's the big one. How many times did I take the exam?
How many?
It's like, damn, I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. But I took the exam 4 times.
Hey, it happens, man. You know what I mean? At least you passed.
Yeah. So I've taken that exam 4 times, and so I can hear somebody saying, "Damn, he's stupid," right? Anyways, but when it comes to taking that exam, like there was a lot of things that had happened. Like the first time I took the exam, I had just checked into a new command. I didn't allocate enough study time to myself. I would say I would study, and then I'd be taking a nap on the couch or eating popcorn, Cheetos, and being fat and nasty or whatever the fuck, right? And then second time I took it, it was essentially like the same thing, but I changed up my study material. Third time I took it, I was just like, all right, I know what I messed up on. And then I failed again. And at that point, I was just like, man, like, I was just
what am I doing?
I was like, damn, you really are stupid. Chief was right. But I talked to one of my mentors, and he flat out, I talked to both of them, as a matter of fact. The female, she was just like, it's okay, you got through school, it's all good, you're gonna make it, rah rah, I'm your biggest cheerleader, woo, right?
Yeah.
And then my male mentor, he was just like, well, obviously you ain't doing something right. And I was like, God damn, you're right, I'm not. I'm a failure right now, but I'm gonna fix it. And then he told me that I hadn't used Kaplan at this point, but then he told me about Kaplan.
Okay.
And then when it came to Kaplan, I used it. They gave me the review. I paid for it.
And I saw your video on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was crazy because then COVID happened and they shut us down. Like we couldn't do nothing. Like everything was closed. And I was just like, oh, bro.
Oof.
I'm like, bro, this is a godsend. Like God closed the world for me right now. Like I need to study. So, and that's what happened. It's like I studied if I was doing, and we were teleworking. So I teleworked. And then did everything I needed to do. And then I was in front of this damn computer the whole time. I studied for like 2.5 months. I went up there. And at this point, it was only 60 questions. And I did it in like an hour, maybe a little over an hour. And when it shut off, I thought was gonna shit on myself. I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
oh no.
Like, I was like, did I break it? And then it said, hey, do this survey. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm done. What do I do? Do I clap? Do I stand up? Like, what do I do? And if you've never been into a testing center, it's like going into prison. I've never been to prison, so I don't know exactly what that's like. But when you
no
go,
comment.
But when I went in, he ain't playing. But when I went in there, and like you got to raise your hand, they got to come and they got to shut the computer down, they got to take your stuff. They do like biometric scanning of your hands. Fucking, it's crazy. So
they take a semen sample too. Holy shit,
bro! They took it all. Like. Fucking, they told me to turn to the left and cough and everything. I was like, Lord. But
spread them.
And it was some little old lady that helped me too, bro. Oh my God. But after it was all said and done, man, like you have to wait like 48 hours before you get your official results. So that was the longest 2 days.
Sweating.
That was the longest 2 days of my life.
I bet.
And then when the results came out, I was sitting in my truck. And I was about to go into the gym. I mean, I was about to go home because I wasn't allowed to be
your home gym.
Yeah, in my garage. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, with the treadmills and stuff. But I was sitting in the truck in my driveway, and I looked at my phone, and I was just like, "Oh shit, my results are up." And I was like, "Ooh, okay, all right."
Do I look it up now? Do I wait?
Hey, seriously, and I contemplated what it was like. It had to have been like 10 minutes, but it literally was probably about 30 seconds. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to pay it. If I failed, I failed. Then I just got to, roll with the punches. I paid for it. It was like $7. And then next thing you know, like that damn hourglass was there. And then it felt like that hourglass was on there for like 5 minutes. And I was just dog, hurry up. And then I scrolled and I saw pass and I threw my phone. And it went into the back seat. I was like, I passed. And I was like, oh my God, I broke my back windshield. Like, fuck. And so I was just like, all right. And I was excited for about 10 minutes. And then that was short lived. Like, I bullshit you not. It was short lived. I'm just like, all right.
What's next?
Yeah, for real. Like for real, like what's next? And then that's when I was just like, you know what? I'm going to start this YouTube channel because I don't want people to feel how I felt to where it was just like, I failed so many times. I wanted people to know that it doesn't matter how many times you fail, you better get your ass back up and you better fucking finish it.
Get your ass up and try again, you know what I mean?
That's it. I was just like, you're only a failure if you quit. I was like, successful people have failed millions of times.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you fail something, it's just like that, just like the advancement exam. Hey, if you didn't pass, hey, cool, whatever. Hey, dust that shit off and get to studying and fucking make it happen the next time. You know, so,
and then you can look and see where you like were weak on. It's like, okay, I need to hit lab more. I need to hit fuck services more. I need to whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was the thing too, man. Like, I would like to think that this, like, I would say the corpsman killer, but the nurse killer is pharmacology, right?
Oh, no one likes pharmacology.
Let me tell you
bro.
something. I thought I loved pharmacology. Nah, pharmacology are for weirdos, for people who like these long generic, like Greek names that don't even exist anymore. It's crazy stuff like that, man. But pharmacology was like the worst thing that I could have ever experienced. And when I found out that I failed, I realized that was one of the biggest ones that I failed on. So I focused on that, and then I branched out after that. And then that was my saving grace, is knowing pharmacology.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know how people do all that farm stuff, but hey, to each their own, you know what I mean? Hey, good on them. And it's funny enough, I've heard that even the like farm techs and lab techs do really well in IDC school as well, because that's one of like the big points as well. So
oh yeah, for sure.
That's wild.
That's why you always see lab techs like when they take the advancement exam. That's why you see them make it like so fast. It's because there's a big portion of lab that's in there, like in the advancement exam, and you're just like, damn. How the hell did you understand that? It was like, well, because they do micro and they do chemistry and they do all that stuff all the time. So even when they go through nursing school, man, they fly through it. They feel pretty good about it.
And the rest of us over here struggling trying to swim on the freaking
That's what they
on that deep end.
That's it. Hey, sometimes you just gotta jump in that deep end. They be like, hey, if you drown, hey, guess it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. You better swim.
Hey, you gotta learn to swim one way or another, you know what I mean?
That's facts.
But yeah, man, that's good. That's another reason why I wanted to have you on too. Just like you said, like it sucks to fail. It really does. And whether it's nursing, advancement, especially right now, the way it's looking, it's like, bruh, we got better luck of, getting shot or getting ran over, walking in the street and picking up third, second, first.
They'll be like, hey,
chief,
get hit,
shit, like,
get hit by this car and we'll give you rank. Okay.
Oh, I know so many people that would, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
And then the map just completely ruining a lot of the, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, man, like I definitely appreciate, like, one, it's you're putting so much good information that a lot of people need to hear, and you know what? That's another reason, kind of why I started the podcast. Well, like, besides just bullshitting, but I know there's a lot of good information out there that people need to hear, and I don't know how people can stand listening to my stupid ass voice,
Bro, you be putting out. I'm telling you be putting out some good stuff. Like when you put out that what was it? The one podcast with the U and DD214 memes. Hey, yeah. I was dying. I was just like, this fucking podcast is awesome, and I got to get on this dude's podcast one way or another. And then when I saw what was it? That I'm Essential. I'm Essential shirt. Hey, I was dying. I was just, because I remember when everything had happened, they were just like, "Hey, you're essential personnel," and I was walking around my spaces, and I was just like, "I'm essential." I was doing that shit.
I think all of us were, and like I was like, you know what, this is too much. That it's just like, bro, you show up and it's like no one's doing anything because everyone's like at home, and it's just like, all right, I'm essential.
Almost.
So
they were like, we need you here. I was just like, I'm not doing anything here, so I will be going home to do nothing. And everybody's like, yeah, but we want to make sure you're safe. What? Like, what kind of sense? Yeah. What kind of sense does that make?
We need to muster everyone and make sure y'all here, but we're not supposed to be in a room full of people.
Hey, we're gonna go. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go outside to the parking lot. I need for you all to be on the other side. I'm gonna scream, and I just want to make sure y'all are alive. Okay.
Just text me, bro. Like I'll let you know. Hey, I'm good.
I'll take a picture with my outer regs haircut because
Oh, I know.
Because that Frago told me I can't get a haircut or shave. But when I do, if I'm on Microsoft Teams, I better be shaved. I don't understand that, but whatever. I
know. It's just, yeah, it's rules for thee, not for me. I don't know, man.
Man.
It's fucking wild.
It's wild, bro. It's wild.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like the podcast, I'm always like just weird about, but I also feel so blessed. You know what I mean? Like all of us here at Disgruntled Talks, like we always feel so blessed that people are tuning in, listening in, even. Just getting as much information as possible because most of us are kind of retarded and autistic, like I've already mentioned earlier. So if they have someone putting some form of information besides just a bunch of stories of us like at Greenside reminiscing like a bunch of fucking boomers, I guess, if we can sprinkle a bit of knowledge on there, I think it would do better for the community. And we always try to give back a lot, so if we can at least do that by even having you on, even though you're kind of simping for me, which is cute, which is cool. I mean, I can appreciate it.
And it was funny because I told a couple of people, I was just like, hey, I'm going to be on this podcast. And then they were just like, hey, just know that you're a nurse now. You held to a higher standard. I was like, hey, first off, I'm going to need for you to calm down. All right. So that's number one. I was just like, but then I'm just like, man, am I going to simp? And I was like, no, I can't simp. I was like, and then I was just like, no. And then I was like, man, like, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. What do I do? And I was like, why can't I just have a conversation with this dude in person? It'd be totally different. But
it would be the same, bro. Like, there's still that mutual respect. And even for some of the other people we've had, it's just like, bro, as long as there's that respect, it doesn't really fucking matter. And at the end of the day, it's all about putting that info out there. And yeah, and sometimes too, I'm stuck between the same thing. It's like, man, should I really be saying this kind of stuff? And then another bigger part of me is like, nah, let's just do it, bro. Yeah. We'll do it live.
Like, just make it happen. Because I'm gonna just tell you, man. Like, like everybody's had. I can't say everybody, but I say me personally. Like, I've had some really bad, experiences. While I've been in, especially when it's come to like leadership, at least for me. And so like, I'm real big on just, I'm real big on like that Gary V vibe. Like I'm all about auditing and I'm all about auditing yourself, and I'm all about keeping it real. Like, some people don't like the fact that you curse, but you're just like, yo, I'm not cursing at you, I'm cursing to get my point across. You know, it's like those enhancement words, as the Air Force calls them. But it's just like, you know, I'm all about, you know, people being their best selves, but as well as recognizing like, hey, the world don't fucking care about your problems. I was like, you need to fix it. And I like, because the world's not going to stop. So you need to adjust. You need to figure out what you want to do and make, you know, be happy, make everything worthwhile, you know? And I try to tell, I was like, yo, that's why I love mentorship. I love it. Like, as corny as some people may say that shit is, like, you cannot get ahead by yourself. You need to find a motherfucker that is up there where they are, and you need to ask them questions, emulate, you know, take, you know, good and take the good from them or good from different folks, and keep it pushing. Hey, there's some simp shit for you right there.
Yeah. Hey, imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So and that's what sometimes people forget. And even I forget sometimes too, because it's like, I ironically enough, I was talking to one of my boys earlier, and it's like, I should have a mentor, but I'm over here just fucking shooting from the hip. So, but I don't know, maybe I have like different goals, and I'm just kind of riding this thing, and just, I don't know, man. My heart's been more here on the page to do a lot more towards that, and that's something that I've tried to invest more time in, instead of, like, I still love being a corpsman, and I love everything that we do, and just, funny enough, even with like deploying and everything, I've had really good times, bad times, but then also it's just the route the military is going is kind of like,
Until another war breaks out.
And that's the thing, I don't want it to.
No,
and it's like, and I've been on that side of just like, you know, I've drank that Kool-Aid, and I've also, you know, been all about, hey, let's go out there, man, freaking, you know, running and gunning out with my old unit with all my boys. So it's like, I've drank that Kool-Aid, free-based it, I shot it up with all my Marines, and like, it's all about it. It's like, if you haven't deployed, been to Afghan or Iraq. But yeah, bro, I used to be one of those dudes where it was just like, you know, if you haven't deployed Greenside, you haven't gone over there, then you're not worth your salt. But it's like, you know, everyone has their journey now, and man, like, I kind of learned to understand that it's like, you know what, people have their own goals, they have their own stuff, and like, who am I to judge them? Like, you know what I mean? And if people want to do their 5 years, do their blue side tours, get their education in, that's what they join, cool. Like, I respect that. I'm still gonna talk mad trash because I can, because that's just who I am. You know what I mean? But people can't be too hurt.
Well, I think people can't be too hurt. That's kind of the age that we're in, man. It's like you hurt people's feelings, and then they're just like, oh, you know, my feelings are hurt, and I'm just like, look, yeah, I'm meaning for you to, you know, go to the galley, go get the biggest straw you can find, and suck it the fuck up, right? So,
hell yeah.
But you know, nobody's naive to the fact that, hey, everybody's journey is different. Like me, I just flat out tell people, like, I've never been with a Marine Corps unit. I was like, never been with a Marine Corps unit, but I deployed IA with a FST because I'm a surge tech by trade. So I deployed for a year with an FST. So everybody's stuff is different. That was my green side, you know, salty deployment with a bunch of salty ass, you know, fucking first classes and second classes, and we had like 1 or 2 Air Force with us and like 1 or 2 Army with us, so we were a good mix, you know, to get the job done. Did, you know, some flight ops stuff, which was pretty cool too. So it's just like, you know, so it's just like, you know, people's journey is gonna be different, you know. And I used to have a bunch of students like, man, like, well, this is when I was in HM2. Hey, HM2, I wanted to go, you know, I want to go get some. I want to go to war. And I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Like, stop. Like, this is not fucking Call of Duty, fool. Stop. This is not what you want. And they were just like, yeah, but I was like, okay. And I was like, when it happens, there's only a few people that are made to do stuff like that and to do it consistently. And I was like, and you, sir and ma'am, are not it. So, yeah, man, people's journey is different. And I enjoyed the way that my journey panned out for me. I wasn't really too happy about how it started, but then like the way that I started to kind of get what I wanted, you know, based off of the things that I, you know, how I just laid out my path for myself. And when I came back from Afghan, that's when I was just like, I got back to the hospital and I was just like, I hate fucking all of you. I'm like, you don't know anything. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, what's my problem? And that was me drinking that Kool-Aid and like telling them they ain't shit, telling them that they're boots. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I only been in the Navy at this point like 8 years, so I think I'm still kind of a boot too, but whatever. And now I'm a boot.
Hey, we're all boot to someone, you know what I mean?
Now I'm a boot ass nurse, and I don't know nothing about nothing, but that's okay because you're always gonna be a boot. That's the great thing about the name, bro. You're always gonna be a boot at something. Not all nurses know everything about nursing, but trust me.
Exactly. But it's just being humble about it. I think that was the biggest thing that I guess it's always like the hardest thing sometimes to learn because some people they get so dead set in that mindset, and sometimes I'll admit I've been guilty of it. I've been mad guilty of it, of just being kind of crazy on that end.
That comes with growth, though.
Yeah, man, and it comes with growth and maturity. Is just learning that you can't measure every person with the same ruler. Like one of the things that was the hardest thing to learn for some of my seniors and then some of my boys included was like you can't yell at everyone. Like some dudes you can yell at and it'll work. Another dude you have to literally beat the shit out of him so he learns. Another dude you just got to sit down and talk to him and then he'll learn. So then you got to learn how to approach your people, and that's something that for me, like, it took a little bit of time, but then I learned, and I was like, okay, I got to learn how to play my angles, and even the same thing is just respecting other people's, like journeys. Like, okay, man, that's what you want to do. How can I help you out, man? Because that's the biggest thing, is just seeing people succeed, and it's just like, and even if getting out of that stupid mentality of just like, if you don't do what I did, then you ain't worthy of filling my shoes. Like, hey, maybe they don't want that, which is fine,
right?
You know what I mean? And that's where I think a lot of people get kind of lost in the sauce, and even then, it's just like it's a weird mentality. I understand it, you know what I mean, but you shouldn't be so dead set on it. And if people want to do something different, hey, help them out, man. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Like, regardless whether you agree with it or not, it's like, hey, bro, you want to do that? Hey, I don't know anything. Go talk to so and so. They might be able to help you out. But I think that's one of the things that we're missing as a community sometimes. That we make fun of each other so much that it can discourage people, and I'm highly guilty of it. Yeah. All the time. Like I literally meme people to death sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
bro, I see some of your memes. Hey. I used to say to myself, I used to say to myself, somebody asked me one day, they was like, hey, what's your biggest fear? And at this point, this is before, like way before you came along, but when shit my LPO says was a crazy ass thing, I was just like, I don't want to be a meme on shit my LPO says. That's my worst fear. And then I'm just like, God, I hope DD214 memes, I hope fucking Disgruntled Docs doesn't do me like that, bro. Like, I love them, dog. They my homies. Like, please don't do me like that, right?
It was the only time we do it if it's warranted, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I don't pull. Okay, sometimes I do pull the trigger. Cause oh man, and like I've talked to like the other boys about it, and like I try to be as fair as possible. Is like sometimes the opportunity, like you got to be super opportunistic, and sometimes it do be your own. Yeah. And I be memeing the own homies, but I'm like, okay, hey, in all fairness, let's even like the whole Corman drama shit, which I'm not gonna touch too much on. If people followed it, they did. If they didn't, whatever. But I was like, hey, we got to give the homie a chance. I don't know how much of this is true. It's just hearsay and just heavy allegations and accusations. But that's all I'm gonna say. Well, I'll meme both sides and every side, but the truth comes out. You present points, and I think I've discussed that even before with Lucky, but. It was the same thing. It's like, hey man, you present me with facts and actual like evidence. Hey man, I'll be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I was wrong and you were right.
Right. And that's one thing. That's the one thing I think I really liked that I was telling a bunch of people about, and I told them that they needed to pay attention to, was when like you DD214 memes. I don't know if Dependent Diaries was up yet, and like TikTok boots and all them. And for the fact that y'all are having a meme war, and oh my god, I ain't seen some funny shit like that in so long. But like the stuff that was going on in Okinawa with the Marines, like that brought a lot of light to the things that were happening to those boys out there, about them not getting food, and about them getting, when they did get food, it was like half-ass cooked, or if it had like mold and stuff on it, they weren't allowed to do or order specific things because of whatever reason. That brought a lot of light to to the higher ups and to the congressmen. They're like, hey, we don't know what's going on here, and those boys got some food. So it's like, why are those Marines getting treated that way? And it took the stuff that you guys were putting out to bring attention. And that's a phenomenal thing. Like, people can sit here and be like, hey, you don't need to be a part of that page. You don't need to be following them. And I was just like, hey, they may put out some funny stuff, but when it comes to taking care of our own, like, hey, those boys need to be over there eating. So I don't know why y'all don't know why, whatever's going on, why y'all are treating them like that. I mean, I don't need to go all into detail because, that's old news and it's hopefully it's been like resolved. But that's the whole point about, when you're taking care and you're doing your podcast and you're doing all this stuff, is just like, that goes back to, like putting out relevant information. It was like, hey, we all jokes and, about what's going on. But when it comes to taking care of our own or anybody that needs to help, it's just like, hey, we there for you. Like, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and I couldn't have said it better, bro. It's just, like, when it comes to serious stuff, like, we're going to be super serious about it, and we'll let people know, like, hey, this was happening, this was going on, this isn't right because A, B, C, and D or whatever. But when it comes to joking time, like, people know, like, or at least I think they should know, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to question people's intelligence, but sometimes people are just like, oh my God, there's beef. And it's like, no, bro, like, just, oh my God, like, just please.
They're like, why,
it's just a meme.
Why are they fighting like that?
Yeah, and it's like, no, we're just memeing, man. Because sometimes we get bored or like even, actually, that's a good segue. So I'm going to do a little plug real quick. So the meme war that I was having with DD214 and Salty Rookie and these other meme pages, we're actually, it's a tournament that another SF meme page is holding to fundraise money for Hunter 7 and then Soft Warrior. I can't remember the name of the foundation, but it's another foundation which is doing amazing things. I'll have to put it up on the page. So we're raising money for Hunter 7, who does already a lot of awesome things, bringing awareness to a lot of the burn pit stuff and a lot of like veteran resources when it comes to getting VA help, getting seen, and a lot of good stuff. So they kind of help. They're an amazing organization. And then the other foundation is Warrior Soft something, and I feel bad that I didn't write it down. But I'll put up the picture or put up a link as well. And what they do is they help families for fallen SEALs, and they help donate money and donate to those families that have been affected by things of that sort. So it's two amazing foundations that we're trying to raise money for. And definitely, if you guys want to donate anything, like anything will fucking help. Like, God bless you if you do, you know what I mean? If you don't, share their page, share their information, so that way a lot of that word can travel out, so then that way more people can get awareness, or not just that, if they can get information or if they want to donate or buy some merch or whatever it might be from them, like, please do so. That's like the biggest thing, like awareness and then just giving out good information. But yeah, bro, it's the memes is just to kind of do for fun and do a competition. And of course, sometimes, like I like to get a little spicy and kind of push that.
I know. I seen them, and I was just. That's why I mean, but
push that content, bro, that's and why people get mad. But it's just like, bro, it's just a meme. Like, if it's not edgy, sometimes it's just like, people aren't gonna be talking about it if it's not a little out there. So sometimes I might push a little too much. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't, and then the other part of me is just like, fuck it, dude, just do it.
It's fun. Just do it. It's funny because that's when I'll see those memes you'll be posting. That's why I said that one day. I was like, hey, y'all are out of control. Like, if you could have heard me say it out loud versus trying to read it, I would have been like, yo. I was telling my boy at work, I was like, yo, these fools are out of control. I was like, did you see what he just posted? And he was just like, bro, they're crazy. I was just like, should I comment? Nah, I'm gonna comment.
And the only thing I hate about posting stuff like that is just like, I'm having fun, but then Instagram being the owned by Facebook, and it's just like, oh no, you posted a no joke, or you posted something that's like non-PC against fucking rules and regulations. And even if there's nothing that's reported, or people do report it and they don't find anything, but just because of the context of whatever it might be, they throttle our shit so much, man. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, even for a page our size, the stories were being throttled that we were only getting like 1,800 views.
Wow. In
24 hours. And it's just, it's unbelievable. It's just like, holy shit.
1,800 views with 52,000 people that follow you? Or 54,000 or something like that? That's crazy. That's not even... nothing. That's like less than 1%. I don't do math well, ladies and gentlemen. So
Me neither. I didn't do math for Marines, you know what I mean? But yeah, bro, it is just like, oh my God, like we're just posting memes. It's not like I got like some kind of ulterior motive or whatever. It's just like, no, I'm just, being fucking edgy or whatever. And it's just like, and even at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what, whatever, man. Like, it is what it is. As long as people are donating money and checking out these foundations, that's really all we care about. You know what I mean? If they enjoyed the memes, cool. And, we kept the page private, one, to keep reports down. And as much as I do kind of miss people just constantly sharing, the reports would come in so much. Oh, someone reported a comment. Someone fucking reported a meme from like a year or two ago. I'm like, how are people looking this deep? Yeah. Like, Jesus.
And that's why I said when I made that video when I was talking about talking about the shirt. And FYI, let me just go ahead and put this out there right now. I put that in the video because I really enjoy the merchandise and I enjoy what it means because it means something to me. Because I'm a corpsman, so I understand that. I just want everybody to know that he didn't pay me to do it. I did it because I was just like, you know what, he's a good dude. He's doing good stuff out here. So y'all go support him. Now, on the other hand.
Yeah, because I think we had talked like a little bit, but it wasn't anything like crazy. And then just... and I think I started looking at your videos, and then I didn't even know you had done that until like I was kind of scrolling through, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, oh damn, that's what's up.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's why because I was like, quick thing because I know everybody's gonna ask me because they're gonna see the shirt, and that's why I was just like, hey, follow at your own risk. That's why I said it. I was like, follow at your own risk. I was like, because if you're a civilian and you're over here trying to look at this, you're gonna be like, oh my God, like why would he put that on there? If you're a corpsman or you're in the military, you're gonna be like, dog, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, which is completely fair, and sometimes I forget. Sometimes it's just like, fuck, man. Exactly. And even then, it's just like, I don't know, man. I always tell people, it's like, dude, we're just a bunch of fucking dudes. But then other people, it's like, yeah, but then think about the kind of, like you said, the kind of influence that even just bringing things to light. And then I'm just like, yeah.
Just like, here's the thing. It's just like, the biggest thing is doing you. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, just, be the best you. I'll be like, as long as you ain't out here physically, hurting people and doing other things. No. It's just like, a lot of people can get over stuff because, we know that it's not coming from a bad place, which is, essentially like with me. It's just like, I make this content, for nurses, but I also am making some stuff to segue for, medics, corpsmen, whomever, as in like, hey, this stuff is good for you as well. But I don't want people to think that, hey, like this dude, the boot nurse, he's like real PC. It was just like, hey, I do say shit. I do say fuck because I'm an adult and I can do that. But it doesn't take it away from my professionalism when I'm talking to somebody, for professional reasons. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people tend to forget that in this PC world. This is like, hey, I'm human, just like you. But just because I don't say fuck or shit in any of my videos doesn't mean I don't say fuck or shit on a fucking podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and it's all about context. It's just like, I might be doing it for like a YouTube video, for a podcast, for a meme or whatever, but it's like, once you got your uniform on, you got your scrubs on, whatever it is, then it's different. It's work time, and then you put on your professional hat, and then once you're done dealing with your patient, you might go back to your room and be like, yo, fuck that. But when you're there in that mindset and you're working with someone, you're going to keep that professionalism. But anywhere else, it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm a person at the end of the day. You know what I mean? There's real feelings, there's real emotions. I got my own thoughts and personality, so... you're either gonna like it or you're not.
Yeah, and people have their own outlet too. It's just like, you go in there and you take care of whoever you need to do, or whatever you're doing at work as a nurse or as a corpsman or whatever. Yep. And then or even if you're working in a bullpen in some office somewhere, it's like you have an outlet. Like you come here, you want to do the podcast. Hey, this is what makes me feel better. Hey, I want to play video games. This makes me feel better. I want to go to the gym, or I want to make YouTube videos. I want to make good content for people. Everybody has their own outlet. Some people like to shoot up drugs. Don't shoot up drugs. That's not a good outlet.
Don't shoot up drugs. No.
Don't do that. Some people like to drink. Don't drink a lot. Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Moderation.
That's key. It's like, but people, like I said, people have their own outlet, and if they have a good outlet for themselves, that's not hurting themselves or anybody else, then hey, let them do them. They'll be professional when it's time for them to be professional. But you're not two-faced or anything like that. You just be you. Relax. When it's time for you to relax, and then hey, go on about your business.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can respect other people, and people will respect you, or at least they should. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Come on, man. Everybody needs that same respect around here. Everybody does.
Yeah, man, they really do. And then just that way, people can go about their day and be chilling, and everyone's good, and you can have a good conversation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, bro, thanks for coming on. All this stuff has been like amazing. So many good resources, so many good stuff. Just not just for corpsmen, but medics on the Army and the Air Force side, bro. And just even just your story and everything. Hopefully, motivates more people to kind of look at a lot of the stuff and a lot of your content as well, man. Because one of the things is spreading that wealth of knowledge, bro. So let people know what you're on, so that way they can follow you, man. So, and if you have some other parting words of wisdom, bro, and that's your time, dog.
Okay. You can follow me on all social media platforms, The Boot Nurse. You'll see my ugly face with my ball of ass mask that says The Boot Nurse on it. I'm on, like I said, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on, of course, YouTube. I drop videos on Mondays, not every Monday or every other Monday, but whatever Monday I feel like. My parting words of wisdom are, be the best you. Never hoard knowledge, because you never know what knowledge you may have that could be beneficial to somebody else. Always chase greatness. And there was another one and I forgot. But yeah. Oh, and not be the best you. I already said that. But what was it? You learn new things every day. Don't be that person to stay in a shell and be like and think that you know it all. Be a sponge. You never know what information that somebody could give you that could be extremely beneficial. So, like I said, be a sponge. Learn new things every day, and mentor somebody else. Take somebody under your wing. It doesn't matter who they are. Mentor somebody else and push them in a great, in an upwards positive direction. All right. And that's all I really got, man. Like I said, I appreciate you. Oh, I got one more thing. Can I drop a plug for my homie?
Hey, send it.
Hey. So if anybody is out there and they like to play Call of Duty, anything when it comes to Call of Duty Warzone, or if you want to get them cheeks clapped in multiplayer, follow my boy Super Average. Is Super Average. No, he's not Super Average Gamer, but Super Average on Twitch and on TikTok and on Instagram. It's ran by my boy Nico. He's a Army 68 whiskey. He's kind of super average. He's super legit. I be in his chat trolling him. So, and sometimes I'll jump on the game and you'll hear me start trolling people, telling them that, hey, I'm going to shoot them up and bang, bang, clip, whatever. But I really be trolling people in the chat. So if y'all get a chance to play some Call of Duty Warzone, anything, make sure y'all hit up my boy Super Average on Twitch.
Yeah, bro. Well, I completely agree with all those things, man. With your last parting words of wisdom, like you always got to be your best and always learn. Because as corny and as cheesy as it is, complacency kills, and like you don't know what you don't know, and there's always room for growth, regardless of whatever step in life or wherever you are. So I completely agree. And also another personal plug. Speaking of Twitch, we're now on Twitch as well. So there's a link in our bio. So check it out. Sometimes we're on there playing Among Us, and if you guys want to go in there, we gave away some stickers not too long ago, and we'll be doing another giveaway sometime soon. So stay tuned.
Oh, I got to start adding you on all those things now. I think about it on Twitch. Yeah. Because if you're playing Among Us, I can only imagine how that conversation is going. Because some of these Among Us damn clips, like from Soldier Boy or from like Ninja, them shits are funny.
Bro, these public lobbies are just on another. Oh my god, bro!
I saw like 100 people. Like it looked like it was 100 people in a public lobby, and I was just like, "How in the hell are y'all even doing this right now?"
It's got to be a mod, but bro, public lobbies are. Sometimes you get a really good lobby, and other ones it's just like, "Oh, they did it," and everyone just votes. And it's like, based on what, bro? Like, oh my god, like, can y'all not? Or sometimes they'll vote me. It's like, oh, he was acting sus, and then everyone votes. It's like, bruh, like, it's like I need a drink.
Bro, you might as well just be drinking like while you're playing that game, and then when you start feeling it, just be like, hey, if I'm the imposter, I'm gonna start killing everybody in front of everybody, and I wish somebody would vote me out.
They'll vote you out real quick. But thanks for coming on, bro. And if you guys aren't following, go ahead, check out the Boot Nurse on all those social media, just like you said. And we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Peace.
Don't forget to check us out over on Facebook and also on Instagram, and follow our podcast at Anchor, Spotify, and also on Apple Podcasts. And we'll catch you guys next time.